So everyone is able to see this. That
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. So this is lecture number 26, and in today's lecture, I am going to talk about discrete sliding mode control. So discrete sliding mode control, basically, I have already told you that I have some system and I have to control that system with some kind of computer or microprocessor. So if you see the system, then I have certain kind of input, and after that we are going to record the output yt. But now what is our goal? I want to control this system using some kind of digital interface, and due to that reason, first I have to do like this: whatever feedback I am going to apply to the system, so that feedback should be converted into discrete framework or digital framework. So initially my system, this is continuous time system, so system is continuously evolving, and after that they are producing some kind of output. We are going to measure that output using sensor, but I have to design or I have to control this system using some kind of computer. So here suppose this is computer we have or some other element we have. So you can see here that this is analog signal, so I have to convert this analog signal into digital signal, and in this way, instead of yt, now I am going to generate ytk. So each time instant I am going to generate some output, and here, since system is only able to understand the analog signal, so after designing the proper control here, again what I have to do, I have to do reverse of this operation. Here analog to digital, so here I have to do digital to analog operation. Then only I can tell that I can able to control this system, because what is behavior of system? Some system is only taking discrete input and giving discrete output. So for that class of system, this arrangement is not required. But large class of system is continuous time system. Continuously that is varying. Due to that reason, what we have to do, we have to interface this system with some kind of analog to digital converter, and after that I will get the output in digital form or discrete form. Similarly, here control is UTK, and this control, after passing through digital to analog some kind of hardware, this is converted into some kind of analog signal, and in this way basically we are controlling some system. And here I have certain kind of clock. So what is role of this clock? They are going to synchronize between these two things, because I want I want that there is no delay whenever we are applying some kind of control. So whatever sampling rate here, so same kind of sampling rate I want to maintain at input side also. So due to that reason, I have applied some kind of clock, and clock is synchronized between these two hardware. So up to here, anyone has confusion? Up to here? So this is our
No, sir. No, sir.
arrangement. So from this arrangement, what we have understood, that I have two different classes of system. One system is continuous in nature, but applying this arrangement D to A and A to D, we are converting this system into discrete time system. So continuous time system is converted into discrete form, or this is also called sample data system, or another class of system that is inherently discrete. So this class of sliding mode control, whatever I am going to talk today, that is applicable for both classes of system with some kind of assumption. So I am going to clarify the assumption. So let us start the outline of today's presentation. So in today's lecture, first I will discuss the need of discrete sliding mode control. So we have seen already some motivation of discrete sliding mode control. After that, I will talk about the design step. So what we have seen in continuous time sliding mode control, suppose if I have second order system that is represented by two axes x1 and x2 in two dimensional plane. So what basically we are doing, we are designing some kind of manifold that is linear. It might possible, now we know the higher order sliding mode control, so that might be non-linear. So any kind of manifold we have, and in finite time we are reaching towards the manifold, and after that I am going to maintain this manifold. So we are going to see that similar kind of steps are valid for discrete time system or not. After that, again I am going to restate the reaching conditions, reaching law, because what we have seen that in case of continuous time system, particularly for classical sliding mode or first order sliding mode control, I have reaching law like this: k signum s and plus d t, and if k greater than equal to dt for all t, then I can able to make sure that s equal to 0 in finite time for all t greater than equal to t, for if I have only one input. So for single input I can able to use this kind of reaching law. If I have multiple input, then we have seen that one can generalize this reaching law, and we have already talked about the multivariable sliding mode control or multi-valued sliding mode control. Now we are going to see that what kind of reaching law basically valid in case of discrete sliding mode control. And after that, again I am going to talk about the sliding surface design in case of discrete case, and after that control computation. So this is the outline. Now I have already told you that with the increased use of digital computers, so whatever computer, personal computer or any computer which basically we are using to control some plant, most of computers are digital. Controllers, lot of controllers or microcontrollers are also digital in nature, and due to that reason, in order to implement control algorithm, I have to either discretize that control algorithm, or I have to go another way, that first I will consider the discrete plant, and after that I will design the control. So what basically I am telling, that I have two different way, that if you have some system and continuous time system if you have, then first by applying this technique A to D and D to A, this is analog to digital. Now you can represent this whole system, this whole combination with help of clock I have here, and that is going to synchronize here. So finally I am going to look this whole system in this particular way. I am telling that okay, now this is my system. So if you see this system, then I have ytk, and this is utk, and this is ytk. So output is ytk and input, and we are expressing everything in terms of sequence. So this is output sequence and this is input sequence. So first I am making this block inside this boundary. I am representing as a discrete time, and after that I am going to design discrete time control. Another way, that considering this continuous time system, first you can design control, and after that you can just discretize that control and apply to the system using again same methodology. So in that particular methodology, I am going to consider my system as a continuous system only. I am not going to assume that my system is discrete. So one way I am going to first assume that my system is discrete, and after that I will design the control. Second approach is like this. What I will do, I will design control based by taking this system. So UT is my control, and after during implementation I am going to discretize this control. So are you able to understand these two difference between these two methodology or not? What I am telling,
Yes, sir. Yes.
I have initially continuous time system. So either I can calculate the continuous time control, and during implementation, and whenever you are doing MATLAB simulation for continuous case, basically you are doing the same. You have continuous time system, and you are assuming that your sampling instant whenever you are implementing, that is very small, and due to that reason that discrete time implementation is almost same like continuous time implementation. Another way, second way, is that I will first represent system in discrete form, and after that I will design the control. And it is possible to show that accuracy in two approach is totally different. That is not always the same. So we are going to highlight that in the subsequent part of this lecture. And I have already told you that in many practical situations one cannot achieve performance one would expect on the basis of continuous time theory. It means that continuous time theory I can design control, and if you will discretize that control and if you apply to the continuous time system, then whatever performance you are expecting, that kind of performance we are no longer going to get. Now, so same kind of things I have written here. When continuous time algorithm is implemented in practical system by digital controller, not only maybe the chattering is generated around the sliding mode, but stability of sliding mode is also compromised. It means that suppose you have some continuous time system and you have designed control based on continuous time theory. It is possible to show that once you discretize this control, then your closed loop system become unstable or may become oscillatory. Okay, so whatever chattering issue that present in case of continuous case, during digital implementation that might become very significant. So even if we are assuming that you might have seen that in higher order sliding mode control, whenever we are applying super twisting control for first order system x dot equal to u plus dt, and after that I am assuming that if u is super twisting algorithm or super twisting control here, so if you apply super twisting control here, then control is continuous, so chattering is not there. But it is possible to show that during digital implementation chattering comes into picture. After that, second important thing is that after discretizing some control, whatever gain condition we expect in continuous time, same kind of gain condition is not valid. And another important point is relatively low switching frequency are required than continuous time sliding mode control. So discrete time control algorithm is more practical to implement. So why we are looking towards discrete sliding mode control, we are going to see that if I develop some kind of methodology by considering discrete plant, it means that if I have continuous plant, then I am going to add A to D and D to A, and after that I am going to represent that plant in discrete way, and after that if I design control based on discrete sliding mode control theory, it is possible to show that using low switching frequency I can able to implement the control even if control is discontinuous. Okay, so due to that reason, because sometime high switching frequency, lot of hardware is not allowing so much of high frequency, but at least they are allowing some finite amount of switching. Particularly, if you see these class of system, biological system, so they have certain kind of switching, but whatever frequency of that switching, that is not so high, that is not very high, that is actually very finite switching, very much finite switching, particularly in thyristor, radar system and economic system. So a large class of continuous time system are computer control, and information about the system measurement as is only available at the specific time instant. And due to that reason, control, whatever control I can change, that only I can change about the discrete instant. So that is another motivation. So what basically we are telling, suppose I have some system like a radar system, thyristor system, or some kind of economic system. So whatever data, output data, or whatever data of a state that is generated, that is only generated at some specific instant. So I cannot assume that I have continuous information of a state or output. So it means that if I have some system like radar system, then whatever output, suppose using output I can also able to estimate all states. So their information is only available at tk instant, tk plus 1 instant, tk plus 2 instant. So that is continuously not available. So I have to assume that using, if I know the information here, so using that information I can apply control between tk to tk plus 1, similarly between tk to tk plus 2, and it is possible to show that if I will do this kind of assumption, then discrete sliding mode control is much more better, or any discrete algorithm is much more better. So that is another motivation. Now if you see the early work, so early work on discrete variable structure control or discrete sliding mode control is again published in Russia. If you see continuous sliding mode control, then also that is published in Russia by Utkin and I forget the name of his supervisor. So Emelianov. So that is Emelianov and Utkin both has work on continuous time sliding mode control. Similarly, if you see the work on discrete version of that, that is also given by some other group, but inside the Russia only. And later, lot of people have jumped towards discrete sliding mode control, and motivation you have already understood, that several system, discrete implementation, or low rate of switching is allowed, and due to that reason discrete is more practically realizable implementation. So these people has done contribution in this area, discrete time sliding mode control, and discrete sliding mode control term is first again introduced by Professor Utkin only. So Utkin has done too much work on continuous time sliding mode control, and he has also bought this name discrete time sliding mode control. So in case of discrete sliding mode design, the control input is computed only at certain sampling instant, and control effort is held constant over the entire sampling period. It means that suppose I have to implement discrete time sliding mode control. So this is my tk and this is my utk. So I am going to generate control only at discrete instant. At this instant, between these two instant, control remains constant. after that, that is going to change at this instant. Suppose this is T1, this is T2. Similarly, control is going to remains constant at this, and after that, if that will change here, suppose, so like that. So control is only changing at this point, means at T1, T2, and similarly at T3, and in between that is going to remains constant. So whenever we are doing this kind of analysis, it means that if you see your system, and between tk plus 1 to tk plus 1, tk plus 1, what do you think? That is closed loop system or open loop system? Closed loop control system or open loop control system? Anyone? I am talking about the behavior between tk to tk plus 1. That is open loop. Why that is open loop? Because in between I cannot able to change. But if you see the continuous case, and if I design, this is my system, and if I design control that is based on information of a state, that is k into xt, so k is proper positive or negative matrix, so xt here, you can see that each and every time I am going to update this xt, it means that system always in closed loop. But here I have combination of closed loop and open loop. So each discrete instant I have closed loop system, and apart from that I have open loop system. So that is combination of closed loop and open loop system. Now try to see the methodology of designing the discrete sliding mode control. So in discrete sliding mode control, I have two different school of thought. So what we have found in continuous case, even if you go to higher order sliding mode control, super twisting, twisting, you are able to see somewhere at some term I have discontinuity. So if you just talk about super twisting, suppose I have system like U, and if I design k x1 power half and signum x1, and after that this is k1 and this is k2, 0 to t, and signum x1 tau into d tau. So here in this particular control action, means control action like super twisting, that is continuous. But you can see here that if you see the closed loop system, then I have already told you that applying control, super twisting algorithm is looks like minus k x1 power half. I am assuming for time being there is no uncertainty, so x2, and x2 dot equal to minus k2 signum x1. So at the higher derivative you can see that I have discontinuity. So at some level, at if that discontinuous control is not acting at the primitive level, then higher level I have some kind of discontinuous control action in case of continuous sliding mode control. So whatever control effort of continuous case, that is switching based control. So now in sliding mode control, it is possible to show that without switching also I can achieve discrete sliding mode control. I cannot achieve continuous sliding mode control without switching. But in case of discrete, ideally at least I can get the sliding mode without switching. Why? Because discrete time system itself has some inherent switching, or only defined at this some finite time interval tk, tk plus 1, tk plus 2. So they have inherent switching, and due to that reason I have two different school of thought. One school of thought is switching based control, another is non-switching based control. So let us try to see the switching based control first, and after that I will move to non-switching based. So upon discrete direct discretization of switching based control law for continuous time case, we get a discrete control law based on switching function. So what is idea? that you can design the continuous control law and after that you can discretize it, or in order to reach this sliding surface continuous, in order to create the sliding mode, what basically we are doing, we are using some kind of reaching law. So you can discretize that reaching law, and after that, using that discretized reaching law, you try to see the behavior about this particular sliding surface s equal to 0 in two-dimensional plane or higher dimensional plane. So that kind of strategy is called switching based strategy. But this particular guy shows that due to use of switching function, the system state would reach the vicinity of origin but cannot get arbitrarily close to the origin. It means that in same case like continuous, in continuous case, if I have infinite switching, then I can able to maintain at equilibrium point. But if you discretize that reaching law, it is possible to show that you are not able to reach exactly at the equilibrium point, but you are going to remain in some vicinity of some arbitrary close vicinity of the origin. It means that using switching based control, I cannot talk the exact convergence in any case if you are going to use this kind of strategy. Either you have disturbance or you do not have disturbance. This happens necessarily because that switching frequency in case of discrete time case. So if you see the switching frequency in discrete time case, that is always finite, and if that is finite, it means that I cannot able to maintain along this line perfectly. In case of continuous sliding mode control, I have infinite switching. So if I have infinite switching, then it is possible to maintain this by switching control. I am assuming that I am switching infinitely fast. But since in discrete case, what we have observed that I have only control I can able to change at discrete time instant. It means that if control I can change here, then I can change here, I can change here. After that I can only able to change here. Then by changing here again I can go here and I can change here. I can go here and change here. I can go here and change here. In this way I can only able to maintain in the vicinity of equilibrium point. But if in continuous case, this is situation of continuous case, this is situation of discrete case. So I am going this is continuous time sliding mode control and this is discrete sliding mode control. So in due to finite switching frequency, in ideal case also I cannot claim that I am able to maintain the equilibrium point. That kind of restriction I have, and due to that reason people thought that there exists some other methodology, other school of thought, such that exactly at least in absence of disturbance I can able to get the equilibrium point perfectly, and that kind of strategy is called discrete sliding mode control without any switching. So sliding mode may be achieved in discrete time system without use of switching. That is the philosophy of this class of sliding mode control, and this is due to fact that discrete time control is inherently discontinuous. I have already told you that in order to achieve sliding mode control, you can see any algorithm. We are assuming that always I have some kind of switching, either at the lower level or somewhere on the higher level. But since discrete time system has inherently this kind of property, so even they do not have switching control, but I can able to achieve sliding mode kind of behavior without applying the first kind of strategy, switching based control strategy. And this is due to fact, same kind of things I have written here. This is due to fact that discrete time sliding mode control is inherently discontinuous in nature, and thus may be require an explicit discontinuity in the control to bring out the sliding mode control. And this control is basically proposed by Utkin, Bartoszewicz and Bartoloni. So a lot of people has done this kind of work and some work in this direction. And if you see the output feedback based contribution that is done by Professor Brijnan and their co-researcher also in this particular direction. Now let us try to see the design methodology. So till now what we have seen, that whatever reaching law I am going to use, that either I can use based on switching kind of or non-switching kind of reaching law is also allowed. Why that is allowed? Because discrete control has inherently some kind of finite switch, and due to that reason I can able to achieve the sliding mode control without taking any kind of explicit switching. So again, if you see the design methodology, so same like continuous case, I have to first step is to design the sliding manifold. So I have to design the sliding manifold, and after that, since I have some kind of finite switching, due to that reason what basically we are assuming that after applying the control, I want to maintain the system in the neighborhood of this sliding surface. It means that I have this as a, suppose this is x1k I am assuming, and this is x2k discrete representation, and this is xk, and now I have to maintain xk equal to 0 for all k after some finite k equal to k star. Since I do not have control at each instant, so I am assuming that I am going to design sliding surface in such a way such that whenever I have some kind of reaching law is applied to the system, then by designing this proper sliding mode control, that closed loop system remains very close to this particular sliding surface. It means that that is going to remain in some specific band. It means that once that will enter inside that band, they are not going to leave. So this is somehow some kind of invariant set. So I am going to design this surface such that reduced order dynamics, because once system come in the neighborhood of equilibrium point, neighborhood of this connected equilibrium point means sliding surface, then what I am expecting that is going to remain in this vicinity only. They are not going to leave this particular vicinity. Then only I can tell that whatever sliding surface I have designed, that is stable. Similarly, if you remember that in case of continuous case, suppose if I have second order system and x2 dot equal to u, and I have some kind of disturbance, at that time if I am designing proper sliding mode control, proper sliding surface, then only I can able to maintain x1 equal to 0 as t tending towards infinity. So if you are selecting this c as a positive number, then only you are able to tell that reduced order dynamics equal to minus cx1 once sliding is going to start. If you will select c less than 0, at that time I will diverge. So that is the meaning of designing some kind of a stable sliding surface. So in case of discrete time system, since you know that if I have discrete time system xk plus 1 and that is alpha x1k, so if you see the time instant k equal to 0, then I have x1 equal to alpha x1 0, and after that if you see the second instant, then you can put k equal to 1, then this become x2, and here I have x1 and k is 1, so x1, and you know x1k from here, so you have alpha square x1k. So what do you think, how to design this alpha k whenever we are on reduced order sliding mode? Suppose
Less than 1, 0
less
to
than
1.
1, then only I can tell that after large sample k this equal to 0. So I have to select alpha that should be lie between 0 to 1. Okay, or minus 1 to 1. In this case, minus 1 is also okay. That is not a problem because I have to maintain inside some.
Then it will be up down type.
So whatever. So that doesn't matter for us. Okay. Now let us try to see the reaching control. So again, I have two different design phase. So I have to design the sliding surface, and after that I have to design some kind of control. So that control might be switching tab or non-switching tab, because both kind of things is possible, such that they will arrive here, and after that, after arriving here, they are going to do this kind of behavior. So we are expecting from here that is going to start this control, and at each and every time instant they are converging towards this sliding surface xk. Here again I am assuming this is just second order system. So in same way you can visualize. In case of continuous case, I am actually drawing trajectory at each and every instant. Here I am telling that control is only changing at this instant, and in between that is going to remain constant. Okay, if I have discrete time system, since I do not have information in between of the sample, due to that reason control effort is only one can showing at this point, this point, this point. Okay, but if you have continuous time system and after that you are discretizing, it means that in between I have to make control equal to constant. But in discrete case, suppose if you have inherently discrete time system, so there is no need to worry about the intersampling behavior. That is called behavior between two samples. So idea is, first I have to maintain the stable sliding surface, and meaning of stable sliding surface is that if trajectory will come in the vicinity of the sliding surface, then that is not going to leave that vicinity. That is the meaning. And after that, what I have to do, using reaching law, I have to bring our trajectory towards this particular band. So that is role of the reaching law, same like the continuous sliding mode control. So second step of design process is different for continuous and discrete time sliding mode. And why that is different, we know that in case of the discrete time sliding mode control, I have limited switching frequency, so I cannot assume that trajectory is perfectly converged towards this sliding surface x, or that is function of state. So I cannot assume that perfect convergence is occur in finite time in case of discrete time system. Due to that reason, we are telling that both process is not exactly the same. And second point, due to limited switching frequency, the closed loop system cannot be driven into a sliding mode. Perfect sliding mode is not possible, and the reaching conditions are not straightforward as a continuous case. So we are going to see this point in the next part of this lecture. So now let us try to see the two behavior. So what we have seen, that similar like continuous case, in case of discrete time system also I have two different phases. One phase is called the sliding phase, another phase is called the reaching phase. And now I know that during the sliding, just now we have seen that if I have some kind of system that is reduced order system that looks like x1k plus 1 equal to x2k, suppose if I am assuming, and x2k that is uk, then what we found that during this sliding I have to make sure that x2 is coming like alpha x1k. So this kind of reduced order dynamics we are expecting. So this design of sliding mode control, again you can take from any classical theory. Either you can apply the discrete PID control or any digital control technique you can apply to design the reduced order dynamics, and after that properly you can select the switching manifold. But in order to design the reaching phase, you have to actually become little bit careful, because now I have two different type. One is switching type, another is non-switching type. So first I am going to discuss the reachability condition, because now we know that once I am on the vicinity, at least if we are in vicinity, then what happens? Here I have some term x2k during sliding. I am telling, during sliding here I have some term like d dash, because always some bend I have, so I can write that reduced order dynamics, that is alpha x1k, and after that d dash some small parameter is here. So it is possible to show that by taking again Lyapunov function v square k type Lyapunov function if I will take, and if I maintain vk plus 1 less than equal to vk, then I am able to design this particular alpha, because always I cannot claim that exactly I am on this particular surface. Due to that reason, some robust technique is always required to show that we are sliding along this particular line. So first I am going to look into reaching phase. So reaching condition is, first reaching condition is given by this particular Russian scientist, and he was telling that if you maintain this kind of condition and if you start from anywhere, then you are able to reach to this particular hyperplane in discrete time hyperplane. And how basically he come up with this particular condition? If you remember the continuous sliding mode control, at that time I have this kind of algorithm dt, and what basically we are doing, in order to prove the convergence towards the surface, we are taking this kind of Lyapunov function, and after that we are maintaining v dot that is equal to ss dot, that should be less than equal to minus eta mod s. Why I am telling? Because I have to maintain some condition like eta v power half. This kind of condition if I am able to maintain, then what happens, that I can able to give guarantee in case of the continuous time system, in finite time I can reach here, and after that once I reach here in finite time, then due to the stable sliding surface design I can able to converge towards the equilibrium point. So what this person has done, they know that in discrete case it is difficult to satisfy this kind of condition minus eta mod s, but at least I can talk about the convergence ss dot less than 0, because this also implies ss dot minus mod s if this condition is if this condition is satisfied, then I can tell that this condition is always satisfied. But I cannot tell like this. If this condition is satisfied, then I cannot always claim that this condition is satisfied. In other words, I can tell that if some system is finite time stable, then that is asymptotically stable. But if something is asymptotically stable, then I cannot give guarantee that is also finite time stable. So what he has done, he has just collected this part, and after that he has discretized this particular term SS dot. And how he has discretized? He has used the Euler discretization. So this S sample that remains as it is Sk, and after that Sk plus 1 minus xk, and here divided by 1, so that remains as it is, and that should be less than 0, and based on that they have come up with this condition. So this is necessary condition, because in order to achieve finite time stability I have to prove that system is asymptotically stable, otherwise I cannot talk about finite time stability. So that is necessary condition. So asymptotic stability is necessary condition for finite time stability. Anyone has doubt on this? Are you able to understand this point or not?
Yes, sir.
But that condition is just necessary condition. But in order to achieve finite time stability, apart from this condition SS dot less than 0, I need further condition. So that condition is SS dot less than equal to eta mod S. That condition is also required. So these two, so this condition is necessary condition, and if this condition, this kind of sufficient condition will satisfy, because here why I am telling sufficient, because here this is very specific, eta v power half only, using that I have created this particular, but for any generalized alpha also I can tell that this is finite time stability. So these two condition makes sure that in finite time I can able to reach towards the this any sliding surface in finite time, or any manifold in finite time. But in order to develop the reachability condition, this guy has just considered this, and due to that reason, what is our remark? The reaching condition only gives the direction of movement of Sk and doesn't guarantee the convergence of Sk. So what, suppose that if you are develop some kind of algorithm that is v dot less than 0, so one can prove that using after an infinite time they are going to converge towards somewhere, because this is the condition for asymptotic stability. So convergence is guaranteed, but I cannot tell that how basically they will converge, what is rate of convergence, I cannot able to claim. So same kind of things I am telling here as a remark. This reaching condition only gives the direction of moment. We are able to understand, okay, trajectory is converging towards this particular manifold, because I am maintaining this kind of condition, equivalent of this condition I have basically maintained here. But I do not give guarantee that exactly I will hit here. That kind of guarantee I cannot give. Due to that reason, this is just necessary condition, not a sufficient condition. So here you can see that in order to get the sufficient condition of the convergence towards this sliding surface, we have to satisfy one necessary condition as well as one sufficient condition. Then only I can tell that this is the sufficient condition, at least this is sufficient condition, such that apart from this also some condition occur. So these two conditions create some kind of condition such that I can able to reach towards this manifold. But here alone this I cannot able to comment, and due to that reason, now another reaching law comes into picture, that is called Sharp-Tuck reaching law, and he has modified the condition, and he told that if this condition is satisfied, it means that norm of the future state, if that is always less than the present state, then I can able to converge. So if you see carefully this condition, so this condition I can able to, because in place of xk mod xk I can able to write this as a xk into sine xk. Like that also I can able to write. So if you see, if you check this condition and this condition together, that will generate this particular condition. And here first condition is, from first condition I can able to prove this particular condition, this particular xk plus 1 minus xk, that is less than 0. From the first condition I can able to generate this. And now what happens, that using second condition, which is come due to the absolute value, now I can able to tell the condition of convergence also. And what is condition of convergence? I can able, since I always am telling that sk plus 1, that is less than sk, future value is always lesser than present value. It means that if I start here, then distance from this sliding surface, always that is going to decrease. So if you are here, then you are converging closer, and at this point, since you are not knowing the control at each and every instant, so it might possible if you are at this particular point, due to control you can cross this, but again this condition is satisfied, and due to that reason again you can return back, and in this way I can able to maintain. So due to this condition, now not necessary, sufficient condition also comes into picture. After that, Fruta has driven same kind of condition using the Lyapunov way. And what he told, that since I have to make sure that each and every instant I will converge towards this sliding surface, so Vk plus 1, that is Lyapunov function at the future instant, minus Vk, that should be less than 0. So then since Vk is always positive, so condition is like this, Vk less than equal to Vk. So since Lyapunov function, whenever we are selecting, that is always positive only. So if you see carefully, then here what, this is exactly same like this only. Why I am telling that? Because you can see here they have taken absolute value, because I do not know the sign of xk plus 1, that is changing the sign. But here whenever we are defining Lyapunov function, that is always positive, and due to that reason, if I am able to maintain this kind of condition, then I can give guarantee that I converge towards this xk, and xk equal to 0, I can able to converge towards this particular discrete time manifold, and from here you are able to drive this is not very difficult. You can just write like this, xk plus 1 and minus xk multiplied by xk plus 1 and plus xk. Now you can define these two quantity xk plus minus xk as a some kind of delta xk. So you can define this as a delta xk, and now what you can do, this quantity delta sk, and here I do not know xk, so you can express everything in terms of xk and delta xk. So here I can able to further write this quantity as a xk plus delta xk and plus xk I have, and this side I have already delta xk due to this particular term. So you can see here I have 2, so 2 is here, xk delta xk and delta square xk, because delta and delta is here, so delta square xk, that should be less than 0. So either you can write like this or this, that doesn't matter. Similarly, it is possible to show that this expression can be also written like this, and from this you are able to again derive this particular two conditions. So I am going to just leave this, because this is a straightforward exercise. Now let us come to the one concrete reaching law, and that reaching law is called Gauss reaching law. And how basically Gauss has proposed the reaching law? He was telling that in continuous case I have reaching law like this: minus k signum and s. So this is my s plus dt. We have already seen this reaching law. So if you remove, if you forget this disturbance, then this is my reaching law. It is, one can also show that if I modify this k like this, then still that remains same Lyapunov function proof remains the same. If I express k as a sum function of the s, again whatever reaching whatever condition that v dot should be less than equal to v power alpha, alpha is half here, or some other quantity, that doesn't matter. So alpha lie between 0 to 1, it is better to write alpha lie between 0 to 1. So if you, in place of constant gain, if you take gain like this, k1 plus k2 into mod x, so still that remains positive. You can see that I have taken mod s. So as my state is far away, it means that if you are starting from here, so you are far away from sliding surface, at that time this term pulls you with very high speed, and once you are very close to s, at that time constant gain start working. So you can interpret this term k as a some kind of adaptive term also, that is depending on the sliding surface. Okay, and if you solve this, then I have k1 signum s and here minus k2 and mod s and signum s. What is mod s into signum s? Anyone? What is mod s into signum s?
S.
S only. And due to
S.
that reason, you can see here that q is some kind of constant matrix, same like k2. So I have this term, and after that I have this term. So are you able to understand the motivation of this particular reaching law? Anyone has confusion on this continuous reaching law? Just in place of constant gain, I am going to write this gain in two parts. One part is constant, another is adaptive kind of nature, that is adapt based on the sliding surface. Now why I am putting this constant gain? Because sometime I have disturbance, so I have to make sure that, because this term is going to become 0, but disturbance might not be 0 at that moment, and due to that reason I have to make sure that k1 should be greater than that disturbance. So this is the continuous reaching law. Now what I am going to do, I am going to perform Euler discretization of this law. So if you perform Euler discretization, then S dot can be written like x k plus 1 minus xk and by 1. So that is exactly same. Now what you can do, you can just substitute at this particular point. So if you substitute, then sk plus, and after that you can take this minus sk on that side, so that become plus sk. So I have 1 minus q tau, and tau here I am assuming that I have tau, and due to that reason this is by tau. So xk plus 1 minus xk, and tau is my my sampling time. So this tau x dot equal to xk plus 1 minus xk tau, that is just a representation. Now what I am going to do, this tau I have to multiply, so every q is multiplied by tau, k is multiplied by tau, and after that this xt is converted as a present instant k, so xk, and here xk is there. So I have this kind of reaching law. Anyone has confusion on this? Anyone? Abhishek?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is discrete representation, and I have already told you that whenever I have some kind of discrete kind of quantity, so if we are at the equilibrium point, then this term, average value of this term, I can assume that that is equal to 0 or very small. So in order to maintain convergence, you can see that I have again expression like this: xk plus 1 equal to alpha xk. And just now we have seen that this will converge provided alpha lie between 0 to 1. So same kind of condition here, that whatever term, so this reaching law will converge provided this term will lie between 0 to 1. Anyone has confusion? And q greater than 0, k greater than 0, that is coming from the continuous time sliding mode control. So, but in discrete time case, whenever you are going to do discretization, now you can see that you have to make sure that extra condition is also satisfied. So just q greater than 0 and k greater than 0 is not enough. Tau is sampling interval. I am assuming that that sampling interval is always positive. So tau I have always positive. So in order to make sure that this algorithm will converge, I have to maintain, or I have to select q and tau in such a way such that that will lie between 0 to 1. Anyone has confusion? Then please let me know. Ruchi?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand this point?
Yes, sir.
What I am telling, that average value when that will hit to the sliding surface or in the very vicinity of the sliding surface, at that time average value of this equal to 0. So that should be stable. This should be also stable, and due to that reason this kind of condition comes into picture. So, and after that, what is beauty of this particular reaching law? Starting from any initial condition, the trajectory move monotonically, means they are going to decrease towards the switching plane and cross that in finite time. So what happens, that since that contains some kind of switching, due to that reason I cannot tell that when they will come here, so that is going to stop here. Due to finite switching of discrete nature, they are going to start this kind of motion. So once trajectory has crossed the switching plane first time, it will cross the plane again in every successive sampling interval, and this will create some kind of zigzag motion, whatever motion I have shown here. And size of each successive zigzag is non-increasing, and trajectory stay within a specified band. We have selected gains in such a way such that whatever size of this, that should not be increased. If that will increase, then what happens, again I do not have some kind of stable kind of sliding surface. So here you can assume same like the first order case. Suppose I have x1 k plus 1 equal to uk. Now I have to design uk such that, so this is one dimension, so I am assuming that I have one dimension, so everything is just defined on the discrete instant. So you can assume that I am going to start from this instant. After that I am coming here, and after that once I cross, then again I start doing this kind of cross recross, and this kind of behavior I have. So this can be ensured if you ensure this kind of gain, and if you put q and k. So from continuous theory, that is also obvious, because this is just discretization of continuous control, and we are actually maintaining extra conditions such that discrete phenomena occur or remains stable. Due to that reason this behavior comes into picture. Now this is the notion of the quasi sliding mode or quasi sliding motion. Quasi sliding motion means I do not have this sliding, but I can at least tell that due to this zigzag motion I can always remain inside the bond, and this bond is not going to increase, and this bond has certain name, that is quasi sliding mode bond, and this sliding mode control, whatever that is induced by this particular reaching law, is called quasi sliding mode. So anyone has confusion? What is meaning of quasi sliding mode? So if you use switching type of reaching law, then from any initial condition, trajectory move monotonically towards the switching plane xk, and after that they are going to do zigzag motion. and whatever band that is remain specific, that is not going to increase. And due to that reason, I am telling that at least in that band I have similar kind of motion like sliding. And since I have similar, due to that reason, not exact sliding, that is quasi sliding. Now let us try to design the control based on this particular Gauss-Ritching law. So what I am going to do, I am going to consider the discrete time system. So you can also interpret this system like this. Suppose you have some continuous time system ax plus bu. Now what I am going to do, I am going to write the solution of this, and I hope that you all are knowing the solution of this particular equation a, and this is t and minus t0, and this is x0, and this is xt0, and this is t0 to t, and e a t minus tau b u tau into d tau. So I have this kind of behavior. Now whenever we are talking about discrete time system, I have told you that if I have control like this, so if you see, suppose this is tk interval and this interval is tk plus 1 interval, so control remains constant in these two intervals. This is my uk, so control is not going to change. So I can able to write from here, you can see that I can also able to write x, this suppose t is tk plus 1. So I am going to see the behavior at this, what is my state at tk plus 1. So from this solution I can able to write, and this is tk plus 1 and this minus tk, because no initial condition, because if I know here, then I can able to guess what is the future instant, and due to that reason now I have updated my initial instant x tk, and now you can see here that tk, and this is t e power a, and here t minus tau b u tau into d tau. Now what I am telling, in between from here to here control is also remains constant, and b is already constant, and this is also constant, so I can take it out. One more thing that you can see here, that I can define t minus tau. T minus tau I can define like some quantity. Suppose I am going to define t minus tau as a some variable s. So I can tell that minus dou t is dou s, and due to that reason, and limit, you now try to see that if you see the limit, so t if you put here upper limit in place of tau, then s equal to 0, and if you put this limit tk, then t minus tk. And since I have negative sign due to this reason, due to that reason I can also able to write by the property of definite integral, I can able to write like this. So I am going to change the color, then things become more clear to you, that this particular quantity I can write like this. I have 0 t minus tk plus 1 t minus tk plus 1, and after that I have t minus tk, sorry, here this is t minus tk, and after that I have e, and in place of a tau I have s, and this is ds into b into u tk. Anyone has confusion on this particular transformation? Anyone? Are you able to understand this or not? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Now you can see here that if I have some kind of periodic sample, so if I assume that distance between these two is h, so I have this term e power and tk plus 1 minus tk equal to h. Due to that reason I can write phi tau. Tau is the sampling interval, so here you can assume this as a tau only. I have assumed h, so you can assume tau. So I can write e a tau is nothing but phi tau. Similarly, t tau, in place of t tau I have this term 0 to t minus tk e power as ds, and B. So this kind of term I have, and since I am talking about behavior at tk plus 1, so do tk plus 1 minus tk, so this is again 0 to tau. So I have 0 to tau e power as ds into b. So this value is equal to t tau. So in this way, if I have continuous time system using zero order hold, why I am telling zero order hold? You try to see that exactly at this particular instant, whatever solution trajectory of continuous time system or discretized system, that is exactly same. There is no discrepancy between these two, and due to that reason I am telling this as a zero order hold. Now what I am going to do, once I understood the mathematical model of this particular discrete time system, now I am going to design sliding surface same like continuous time. So in continuous time, this is continuous, here I have represented by xk. So suppose if I have second order system, then I can tell c1 x1k plus c2 x2k, same like this is my xk. In that way I am going to select the surface. So I have this algorithm and I know the reaching law, Gauss reaching law, that xk plus 1, if you remember the previous algorithm, that is 2 tau, and that is xk minus k tau into signum xk. So this kind of algorithm I have. So what I am going to do now, I will take sliding surface ct into xk, and now I am going to take increment. So if you take increment, then this is ct into xk plus 1, and now in place of xk plus 1 I am going to substitute this particular term, that dynamics of this system. So this dynamics I am going to substitute here, and after that, after substituting xk plus 1 from this reaching law, I am going to equate both sides, and in this way, by equating, I am able to understand what control if I apply. If there is no disturbance, then I can tell that this is my sliding surface, that is xk. So in finite number of sample I can reach in the vicinity of this, and after that I will do the zigzag motion. So in this way I can able to design the discrete control such that I can able to, from any initial condition, I can able to reach in this quasi sliding mode band. This is quasi sliding mode band. Now you can see here one more important thing, that what we are telling, that once we reach here, then I want to maintain this bond. I do not want to leave this particular band when that particular kind of things is true. That thing is true if I see the two instant. Suppose I have xk instant and xk plus 1 instant. So if my switching frequency is such that finite switching frequency, if I cross, then next time, suppose this manifold, I have told you that xk equal to 0, it means that upside of this either positive and negative, or this is of vice versa of that. So due to that reason, what I am telling, that if sign of this and this is opposite, then I can tell that quantity is going to make zigzag motion across this particular surface. So using that kind of condition, what I am telling, that xk is less than quasi sliding mode band, or sign of xk plus 1 should be opposite of xk, and based on that particular condition, what I am going to do, I am going to calculate this sliding mode band. So just I am going to put the opposite sign, xk plus should be opposite of xk means minus xk. So same kind of condition I will put, and after that, that should be less than equal to this, because I am telling that band is not going to expand, and in that way I am able to calculate what is the size of band. So in this way I am able to show the size of band in case of Gauss reaching law, that is given like this. And here you can see that k into tau. So k into tau, that particular quantity is again some kind of finite number, and q tau, that is gain, whatever gain I have selected, q multiplied by tau. So again that is finite quantity. So what do you expect? This band is always remains finite. So how to reduce this band? Anyone? How to reduce this particular band? Is it possible to reduce?
Decreasing QT.
So you can see here, if I decrease k multiplied by tau. So if tau is this sample interval, if tau sample interval is very small, tau is 0, then what is size of band? If tau equal to 0, then what is size of band? Band equal to 0. Anyone has confusion? And why this is possible? Because I have discretized the reaching law, that is minus ks, k1 minus s minus k2 signum s. So what I am telling, that after discretizing this law I am getting this, and if discretization interval means sampling time, that is very close to 0 or exactly equal to 0. So what is behavior of discrete time system? If sampling time is 0, then what is
Continuous.
continuous, and due to that reason size of band equal to 0. It means that exactly I can able to reach to the sliding surface. Due to that reason theory remains consistent. Anyone has confusion on this? Anyone has confusion on calculation of this band? Then please let me know, or at home you can do exercise, and if you have any confusion then please let me know, because this is very simple. Now everything is just algebra, nowhere differential equation is involved. Now another reaching law. So this reaching law, everywhere switching is involved. Here you can see what we have observed, that if I have xk plus 1 equal to phi xk, just several times I have given this example already, that if I have a scalar case and if that alpha lie between 0 to 1, then I can tell that this xk all future as k is k star, then we are in the vicinity of xk star equal to 0. So now in multi-input multi-output case, they are telling that okay, if this matrix is diagonal matrix and entry about each and every diagonal, it means that I have x1 k plus 1, x2 k plus 1. Suppose I have multi-input case, then I have two sliding surface. At that time, this input you can take alpha 1 and alpha 2 and xk and x2k. You can see here that if alpha lie between 0 to 1, alpha I lie between 0 to 1, then I can give guarantee that if k is tending towards some k star, then x1 and x2 in the vicinity of equilibrium point. Anyone has confusion? Anyone has confusion on this particular claim? It means that I can also use this as a reaching law. Why this is? Because finally, even if we have used the discretized version, at that time I have quasi sliding mode band. So I am telling okay, if we have to just maintain in the neighborhood of the sliding surface, then I can use simple reaching law, simple kind of law. So I can apply that kind of law, and after that I can maintain in the vicinity. I cannot give guarantee that I can recross, but I can maintain in the vicinity like this whenever we converge from here like this or something like this. But I do not know I will cross or not cross. But that Gauss reaching law always give guarantee that you are going to cross and recross. Okay, so this law is called linear reaching law. Why this represents some kind of linear discrete time invariant system. Linear discrete time invariant system. this represent linear discrete time and autonomous system. This is autonomous, nowhere forcing function is involved. Due to that reason, this law is called reaching law. Now, another reaching law that is proposed by Utkin, and he was telling that if you substitute this diagonal entry equal to 0, then xk plus 1 equal to 0. And if you remember the deadbeat controller, that in deadbeat controller, what is our objective? Our objective to design control in such a way such that in multiple steps we just converge to the equilibrium point. Okay, so similar kind of things one can see if you will do here, that xk plus 1 equal to 0, then only in single time step, because xk plus 1 equal to 0, what does it mean? You can try to see that if you substitute k equal to 0 sample, then x1 equal to 0. After that, if you substitute k equal to one more, that is 1, then x2, what is value of x2? Anyone? Saptik, what is value of x2?
0, 0.
0. What is value of xk?
0, 0.
So in this way, I can able to reach the xk in one sampling instant only. If I will force xk plus 1 equal to 0, then xk equal to 0 in one sampling instant, if I maintain this. And this reaching law is called the Utkin's reaching law. And this is nothing but same like deadbeat control. And here you can see that in both reaching law, I do not have any kind of switching. So this is second category of law without switching. Now what you can do, you try to see that I have some kind of continuous time system, and why basically we are dealing with sliding mode control, because we have some kind of disturbance, and I am assuming that is mesh disturbance. So this is mesh disturbance, means disturbance that is going to enter through the control channel, and I am assuming that that is also bounded. So that kind of assumption I have. After that, I am going to design the linear sliding surface. So suppose if this xk, so xk k is nothing but x1k, x2k up to xnk. So I have n number of state. Similarly, I have m number of control input, and state and control is only specified at discrete instant. Now I am going to design sliding surface as a linear combination. Suppose I have defined xk, that is c1 x1k plus c2 x2k, and similarly up to cn xnk. Similar kind of notion I have written here. Now I have to design c1 c2 cn such that I can able to claim that all entry x1k, x2k, xnk equal to 0 in finite number of state if there is no disturbance. If there is disturbance, then that is not possible, because from deadbeat controller also you are able to understand this, that if I have disturbance, then in one sampling instant or multiple sampling instant I cannot able to reach to the equilibrium point. So same kind of generalization is also here. Now try to see that how to design the control action. So one can design control by Gauss-Reaching law, means switching based or non-switching based. So first try to see by switching based. So what I am telling, suppose initially I have no disturbance, so I can design control law just xk plus 1 minus q tau into xk, and after that I have minus k tau into signum xk. And what I can do, if I have some system, then I will define sliding surface as a ct into xk, and I will take one increment xk plus 1 ct into xk plus 1. So k plus 1 I am going to substitute from the system dynamics, and this is my system dynamics. So from here I am assuming there is no disturbance, so this part will come here, and after that I am going to substitute xk plus 1 from the Gauss reaching law. This is called Gauss reaching law. So from Gauss reaching law I am going to substitute that particular part. So this is called Gauss reaching law. And if I substitute this part from here and this part from system, then I can able to find control just by equating, and that is given like this. Anyone has confusion on this? How basically this control comes into picture? And I am assuming that whatever C I have selected, that should be not equal to 0, means their product with this particular matrix, that should be non-zero. So I am assuming this. Now if you apply same kind of law, because in order to drive, if you calculate this law, if you assume you have disturbance, then you are not able to equate. And if you are equating in presence of disturbance, then you can see that your law contain one term that is looks like this. And what do you think, this control is implementable or not?
No, sir, because
No.
Because here I have disturbance, and due to that reason, if you design the control based on this particular information, then this control is not implementable. Due to that reason, now in case of the disturbance, either I have to modify the Gauss reaching law, or I have to compromise with this particular disturbance, because inside control this term is not there. Due to that reason, in closed loop system, after closing the control, I have that disturbance, so behavior is governed by that disturbance. So due to that reason, new reaching law comes into picture, that is called modified Gauss reaching law. So what is modification? Modification is like this. Suppose I have mesh disturbance, and that mesh disturbance is bounded. So I have disturbance like dou k. I am assuming that that particular disturbance has certain kind of bound. It means that has some kind of lower bound as well as upper bound. So you can assume anything, that I have something like d dash, and this side I have d double dash with negative sign like this, or it might possible that is positive also. So I do not know this is negative positive, so whatever you want, you can do. After that I am going to multiply with some constant matrix. So what happens, this band is also remains constant, and same kind of logic here they have used. And after that, what they are assuming, that if that is lower limit and this is upper limit, so I can able to calculate the mean and spread of disturbance. So how to calculate mean? By adding two quantity, upper bound plus lower bound by 2, and spread I can calculate like this. Now what I am assuming, that disturbance is not known to me, but at least I know the bound of disturbance. So upper bound I am knowing, or I am assuming that disturbance is not going to cross this particular value. So that particular value I can able to use as a upper bound or lower bound, and after that I am going to define d0 and d1, means mean and spread. So if you define mean and spread, and if you modify the Gauss reaching law, so how we are modifying the Gauss reaching law? Gauss reaching law, I am going to add this term at the switching term k tau. Initially Gauss reaching law is like this: 1 minus q tau into xk and minus k tau signum xk. So this is the Gauss reaching law. Now in presence of disturbance, I am going to add some more numbers here at this part, k tau part. In place of k tau part, I am going to add d1. And what is d1? d1 is the spread of the disturbance, that I am going to add here. And dk, that is the some kind of disturbance, whatever disturbance, exact value of disturbance I am going to add here. And minus d0 is nothing but the mean of these two disturbance. Now you can see that if you will do that, then it is possible to show that all decay that will satisfy this kind of condition. If that will satisfy this kind of condition, then it is possible to show that again in finite time for all disturbance that will converge here and going to remain inside this bond. So this is called modify Gauss-Ritching law. So they have modified, and after that they have give proof using this particular way. So let us try to see that. So after modifying this, now you are able to calculate the value of control and try to see inside this value. What do you think? Anywhere we have disturbance inside this control? There is no disturbance. And what is idea? Ritching law you can take that contains some disturbance. That doesn't matter, because if you remember that Ritching law, whenever I am talking about this Ritching law, sorry, in continuous case, whenever I am talking about this Ritching law, x dot t equal to minus k signum s, whenever I am writing Ritching law, at that time I am always adding this dt. Okay, and after that I am doing the analysis. So Ritching law may contain disturbance. That doesn't matter for us. Okay, but whatever control that comes into picture, that should be, each and every term of that control should be known. And you can see that control only contain the information of a spread and mean. So, and I know the spread and mean because I know the upper bound and lower bound. So I can tell that d0 and d1 is known to me, and due to that reason I can assume that this d and d1 is known to me. 1 minus qt is the parameters, and I can select this. So this control is implementable. Anyone has confusion on this? So I will take some more time because I have to finish this. Anyone has confusion till now? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now quickly we will see that why we are telling that in presence of disturbance also whatever Ritching law that is valid Ritching law, or whatever modified Ritching law that is valid. So how one can prove this? So you can design any control action, and after that you can just show that this kind of inequality will satisfy. So here you can see that xk plus 1 and xk plus 2. It means that if you are at xk moment, if you are here, then xk plus 1 your sign should be change, and at the next instant if your sign will change. Similarly, if you start from here opposite side, suppose I am going to start from this opposite side, then whatever sign, and here sign and this sign, so this and this sign is same and this is different. So by checking the sign I can give guarantee that in presence of disturbance also that is going to do crossing and recrossing, and due to that reason using this particular condition one can give guarantee that for all disturbance this control is remains inside the Quasi-Mode band. And so for proof this they have just calculated xk plus 1, and after that they have shown that xk plus 2 that should be equal to xk irrespective of disturbance. If this condition is satisfied, then I can tell that this trajectory, it means that if you are going to start here, so if this two instant and this instant you can define as a xk, this as a xk plus 1 and this as a xk plus 2. So if xk plus 1 and sine of xk plus 2 that is exactly same, then you are going to do recross and recross, and these two sign should be different than xk. So suppose you have some instant, so you can check sign at this instant and this instant. So if sign of this instant is same but this instant sign is some other sign, then you are able to maintain this kind of motion. So that kind of principle people has used to show that what kind of band is going to remain, and it is possible to show that this remains like this. And after that, quasi sliding mode band, one can able to calculate from the same information, and that quasi sliding mode band is given like this. So what is a story? A story is, you can modify the Gauss-Ritching law by adding a spread and mean, then that particular control you are going to design that become robust with respect to mesh disturbance. So similar kind of behavior. So in continuous case, I have, whenever we have meshed uncertainty, then we are telling that meshed uncertainty in phase of sliding mode that remains insensitive, means our system remains insensitive with respect to disturbance. But here I do not have insensitivity, but I have robustness with respect to disturbance. So that kind of, and why not insensitivity? Because I have finite amount of switching. I do not able to apply control everywhere. Due to that reason, I can only able to compensate disturbance only at the sampling instant. So that kind of things, that kind of information basically comes into picture. And after substituting this, one can also drive this particular band. And now from this I can conclude that, please check this calculation, that this discrete time sliding mode control I can able to implement practically. And after that, here one more thing, that here I do not have exact sliding. Why I am telling not exact sliding? Because what we have seen, that I am going to do crossing, recrossing, crossing, recrossing. So I do not have exact kind of sliding. Always I have some kind of band associated with the control. And we have designed Ritching law in such a way. Due to that reason, I am telling I do not hope that I have exact sliding like continuous time case. And there always exists chattering, because this kind of motion is called chattering. And chattering is also in theory, because we have discretized law, and we are knowing that law do not have this kind of behavior, that they will come here and after that they will maintain here. We have designed in law such a way that is going to do cross and recross. So due to that reason, that is obvious, and it is possible to show that since this law, so reason is why chattering, we have already told that since I have discretized this, and xk plus 1 equal to 0. So in order to maintain xk plus 1 equal to 0, what happens, once trajectory hit, then I have control should be like this, such that they will stop crossing this. Again, they force them to move along this. But here control might not be here, because suppose that I have some control here and after that discrete case, so I can only expect that control here and after that control here. So sometime I do not have control. Due to that reason, I have this kind of motion only, that is possible. And due to that reason, I have quasi sliding mode control if I use Gauss-Ritching law or modified Gauss-Ritching law. So that kind of conclusion here. Now another aim. So quickly, 15 minutes more I will take, and after that I will complete it. So what I am going to do, that now I am going to see different approach, and that is called phase approach, and where I am going to assume that control doesn't contain any switching kind of things. And aim of discrete sliding mode control, same like deadbeat control, in one sampling instant, if you are here and this is the sliding surface you have, so in one sampling instant I will reach here, and after that I am going to maintain here. So behavior is exactly inspired from the deadbeat controller, and this is feasible. Now let us try to see that how to design the control in this particular methodology. So again, suppose if you have discrete time system, and I am assuming that in this discrete time system, suppose you have to track some signal RT. So DRT is not disturbance, you have to track this signal. And if you discretize this system, again using 0 volt I can able to get like this. So this part is obvious, I hope that. And after that, what I am going to do, just I am going to design control, and designing of control is very simple. I can calculate xk. I will define xk first, that is xk is cxk, and after that what I am going to do, I am going to substitute cxk xk plus 1, that is c transpose xk. And here in this particular place you can see that I haven't used C transpose. It means that whatever matrix I have considered here, that is already transposed. Due to that reason, either you can write transpose and not write transpose, that doesn't matter. So I have selected this matrix xk in such a way such that dimension is going to match. That is the meaning. So just by putting xk equal to 0, I can able to design the control. So in this way I can able to give guarantee that I have some system, and this is sliding surface xk equal to cxk. Then in finite one step I will reach here, and after that, since one step I will reach, then in subsequent step, since every time xk plus 1 implies that for all instant this remains 0, and this is line of xk equal to 0. So xk plus 1, xk is 0, then xk plus 1 is 0, xk plus 2 is 0, xk plus 3 is 0. So every future instant that we are going to remain to this sliding surface only. Anyone has confusion why I am telling xk is 0, xk plus 2 is 0, xk plus 3 is 0? Anyone has confusion? Then please let me know. Ruchi,
Yes, sir.
are you able to follow why I am claiming xk plus 2 is also 0?
Sir, I will go through it again.
No, what I am telling, since xk plus 0, what xk plus 0 implies? Try to see again. If you put 0 here, if you have algorithm like xk plus 1 equal to 0, it means that if you substitute k
Yes,
equal
sir.
to,
S1 equals to 0, SK equals to 0.
so xk equal to 0, then now if you have to calculate for xk plus 2, then what kind of conclusion one can tell? Again that is 0, na? Xk plus 1 equal to 0 implies
Yes,
xk,
yes, sir.
and since every future instant I can able to maintain 0 by this control, due to that reason I am not going to leave this manifold. Anyone has confusion on this?
Yes, yes.
And now let us try to see that in this way I can able to design the control, and this control again whatever equivalent control, because Utkin always defining everything in terms of equivalent control, means those amount of control which is needed to maintain this sliding surface. Okay, so xk plus 1, one instant, using one instant I will converge here, and when xk plus 1 equal to 0, whatever control that comes into picture, since that control is required to maintain this sliding surface, that is called equivalent control, and due to that reason he has used this terminology equivalent control. And after that he proved that if you design this algorithm xk plus 1 equal to 0, then 5 infinite time I will converge. So but what is difficulty, that since I want to converge to the manifold in one time step, due to that reason large control is required. If my initial condition is very far away, then very large control is required. After that he has actually give one solution, that if you are away from the sliding manifold, then you can apply the some kind of reduced amount of control. Suppose your control is bounded by u0, then suggestion is that if u equivalent you can calculate by xk plus 1 equal to 0. So by substituting xk plus 1 equal to 0, you can calculate that how much control is required, and if their value is greater than u0, then you can apply this kind of control. u0 same control, maximum bound you can apply, and this will give you equivalent control, will give you the direction in which direction you are moving. So suppose if I start from here, u0 I will apply, I will move here, again I will apply u0, again I will check this inequality and apply u0, and after some time it is possible to show that this inequality will satisfy, then I will apply u equivalent. So in this way, after several instants, by n number of step, I am able to reach to this surface, and after that I am going to maintain this, and for that one has to prove this Sartak reaching condition. So say you can see that if you do this, then this condition is all satisfied. So I am not going to prove this. So if you have time, then please check it. Now, so using that, he has shown that this equivalent control will satisfying this. So this is the mathematical proof of that, and it is possible to show that convergence condition will satisfy if you use this kind of norm inequality. And after that, again, if I have disturbance, then again this control will not work, and due to that reason, again same like the mean and spread you can add, and after that it is possible to show that if you add the mean and spread, then your reaching law, now modified reaching law. So modified reaching law, now that is not like xk plus 1 equal to 0. That is going to depend on the disturbance, and dc is the finite quantity, and dk, so you can define like this. Then it is possible to show that again you have using this kind of control, you are able to maintain this sliding. And last one, that is called Bartozovic reaching law. So Bartozovic has given this kind of complicated reaching law, and based on some adaptive principle, they have found that if you will maintain this kind of condition, I am not going to detail of this because this is not so much famous. Just for the completion, I have actually brought this this thing. So this is adaptive law. So dk, d0 and sdk plus 1. So dk and d0 is the disturbance term, and here sdk, that is some kind of predefined term or adaptive term. It is possible to show that if you select xdk using this particular way, then one can able to see this kind of things, and control at that time that is given like this particular way. Okay, so now I am going to conclude the lecture. So sorry for the because I have crossed the limit of time, but I do not have option. So what we have seen in this particular lecture, that whenever I have to implement sliding mode control, so if sampling time, I can select very small sampling time, then you can apply whatever algorithm you want, whatever higher order sliding mode, continuous higher order sliding mode control, and whatever. But most of time, since actuator or sensor has certain limitation, suppose that if you are controlling some rocket or some other object which is far away from us, then whatever information we are getting after some time interval. So I cannot assume that control information is already or always available. Second important thing is that I cannot apply sampling, arbitrary very small sampling to each and every plant. At that time also, this kind of methodology is very much required, and it is better either you can work with the means Utkins reaching law or Gauss reaching law. If you have to go in some more complicated, then Bartozovic reaching law. So, but most of time, if you are working on discrete time sliding mode control, then these two reaching law means Gauss reaching law and Utkins reaching law, both are very much famous. So using that, you can try to design the control. So now I am going to conclude lecture. So this is conclusion from my side. Now if you have any question, any specific question, then please let me know. So anyone? So now I am going to close.